First question, sir. Did Joe Biden win a fair and free election in Maricopa County in the 2020 election?
Joe Biden won a free and fair election in Maricopa County in the state of Arizona and the United States of America.
How have you prepared yourself for attacks by lawmakers, voters, and those who reject the election win?
Sure thing. I understand that some people are never going to be satisfied with what they hear about the election, but I know the facts, and I trust the men that are standing behind me. I trust Stephen Richer, the recorder, and I trust the election workers who work for Maricopa County. Maricopa County has always been what I consider to be the gold standard in performing and running elections. There's only one candidate who disputed how the election turned out. Every other candidate has accepted victory or defeat. And so I understand that maybe some people won't be satisfied or won't be happy, but simply they don't have the facts on their side. And I always err on the side of the facts. And the facts are that the election went the way it went, and I'm very confident the next election will be run just as smoothly too.
Respectfully to your wife and to yourself, sir, I ask, have you explained the job to your family and the threats that might come with it?
Yes, my family and I have discussed this at length. We understand the death threats that have been made against the current supervisors, and we understand that any single person who steps up and steps into the breach and wants to speak the truth is always at risk of getting attacked. Now, do I believe that it will happen? I don't think so. I think people here in Maricopa County are very good people, and I think ultimately people understand that the supervisors are doing what they can to follow their oath.
And lastly, what do you feel that you can bring to the role that your predecessor probably couldn't?
Well, you know, I'm just going to talk about myself, and I'm just going to say I'm very excited for this new opportunity. I've been part of this community in a variety of ways. I worked for a few years in state government, and I've been now working in private practice in the private sector. I've also worked throughout Maricopa County and throughout the state of Arizona. I know what the issues are that people are facing. I know when people are upset about how they're going to make their rent, how they're going to pay a mortgage, how their kids are going to go to school with masks or regarding COVID, and also how are we going to handle the housing crisis in terms of are we going to meet enough housing to satisfy that. In all those areas, I've come across that in my career, especially with water issues as well. Water is a very key, important issue. I would like to see more people pay attention to water. And so we're going to be doing that here at the Board of Supervisors. I know that my colleagues here do understand and appreciate the water issue that we have facing us, and I look forward to working with them on that.
I appreciate you answering my question, sir. Anything you would like to add?
I'm just very excited for the opportunity. I'm excited to serve District 2, and I'm excited to serve with these men to serve the Maricopa County holistically all over for the good of the county.
Thank you so much, sir, and best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
You guys have questions?
Yeah. Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Jason. So many people, especially in your district, still believe the election was stolen or something happened in the county. How do you unite people and move the county forward?
Sure. Well, when you say so many people, from what I've seen with the polls, there is a segment of the Republican Party that believes that. I think the vast majority of Democrats believe that the election was fair. The vast majority of independents believe the election was fair. But there's also a very fair number of Republicans who also believe the election was fair. So I would say that there's just a small faction right now that believes that the election was stolen. However, the only thing that you can do is treat people with respect and don't lie to them. Unfortunately, I believe that some people who are pushing this are pushing what is called the big lie. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat my constituents with respect. I'm not going to lie to them. If any of them come to me and say that they believe the election was stolen, I hope that I can reason with them in facts and can talk to them about what happens here in the elections department. If some people choose not to believe it, that's up to them. But I am willing to talk to anyone about it, and I'm not afraid to talk about the truth.
Do you have any thoughts on your predecessor's recorded comments?
I do not have any thoughts about that at all whatsoever. I'm only looking towards the future. I'm looking for the job that I have at hand. I have a lot to learn. I have a lot to do. I can't spend a minute doing that.
With the threat of the audit still looming over the county, you mentioned a litany of other issues you want to tackle.
Mm-hmm.
How can you balance, still dealing with the ongoing agreement between the county and the Senate while also addressing all those other issues like water that you mentioned?
Sure. I believe that the Board of Supervisors for years, for decades, has always been able to chew gum and walk at the same time. There's always a bunch of issues that are going to be coming at them. And in fact, COVID is a very important issue. And as I said in my remarks, the pandemic is still raging. So I believe that the board is able to handle and talk about COVID, to talk about the issues that I just talked about, including economic development, housing, transportation, and water. And also, if there are any new issues that come with the audit, we'll take them on as they come.
Do you think that the county's doing everything it can with COVID right now and the new variants?
Yes, I do.
Are there any discussions that you'd like
You know, this is my first day, my first hour, so we'll have to see about that.
I wonder if you have an opinion on the agreement the board came to with the Senate to hire the special master and the responsibilities, the cost that put on the county. You know, we reported yesterday that, you know, the county's paid the special master $10,500 and we still haven't seen a lot of progress.
Sure. And I don't know too much about it. The only thing I do know is that John Shadig is a man of integrity, and he has served Arizona with distinction for years. I've admired him and his family for many decades. I mean, for many years. They have served Arizona for decades. So that's all I can say about that.
Coming from a land use and a law background, some people may hear that and think that you'll, you know, always be catering to developers. Can you explain your background in that field and how it's going to affect your work?
Right, and I'm glad you asked that question. As a land use attorney, I want to make the distinction. I'm not in-house counsel for a developer. I work with a bunch of folks around Maricopa County. Some of them happen to be developers, but a lot of them are homeowners. And a lot of times I help families achieve their dream. A lot of times they're looking for a variance to build an extension for their home because they're having a baby, or they need a variance for an extension of their home because their mother-in-law has to move in and they want a mother-in-law suite. So a lot of times you're working with families who just need help, you know, working through the Byzantine process of City Hall, of city government. On the other hand, I've helped neighbors also fight off controversial projects. In Tempe, a couple years ago, I worked with hundreds of neighbors to fight off and defeat a controversial car wash. They did not believe it was the appropriate project for their neighborhood. And when I asked them, what do you want? They told me it was a certain kind of restaurant. And I was very proud to work with them to A, defeat the car wash, and then B, help that restaurant come in. So as a land use attorney, you work with people from all walks of life. I'm very honored to work for all of my clients. And I think I've helped contribute to jobs and to the development of the county.
Chair Seller said he wanted someone who could hit the ground running. Can you talk a little bit more about how your background lends itself to that role?
Sure thing. I think the combined experience I have in the private sector, especially as an attorney, but also working as a site selection consultant, and also my years in state government at the Corporation Commission, I think lends me a unique perspective on what is going on in the state right now and with the county. I've been following this county Board of Supervisors for several years now very closely. I know all the issues that they're working on, and I know all the issues that they're facing. And frankly, having worked in government before, you know, I'm kind of like a fish out of water, so to speak, going right back in. So I'm glad to be back in public service because I think it's a very worthy vocation.
So stepping into a public service appointed role for the first time, are there things about county or local government that have frustrated you, or times where you've been before the supervisors that you've been frustrated, that you think that you would approach differently, just topic-wise or?
You know, I have to tell you, having worked as a state employee for 4 years and working with people who work in state government, and also as an attorney who interacts with mayors, council members, and stakeholders, I have to tell you, I'm very impressed by how hard people work and how dedicated they are. Not everyone is perfect, not every system is perfect, but I do that. Maricopa County has a very good government, and I want people to know that. Can things be better? Absolutely, yes, and I will definitely lend my ideas, and I think we'll have some debate and we'll deliberate all of those issues. But I think overall, government works very well here, and I think that's one of the reasons why 200 people are moving here every single day. You can ask people who move from other states, how does government work for them? It doesn't work for them, and that's why they're moving here, because they know in Arizona, places like Maricopa County are run really well.
Do you have anything else? Do you plan to run when the election comes up?
Absolutely, plan to run and I plan to win.